You're watching Channel 22, Lawndale's community cable television for the South Bay.
Okay, fans, we're up and ready to rock and roll. It's the first round of the 1999-2000 CIF Southern Section Division I AA playoffs. We're here at Leuzinger High School. There's a crowd, electricity in the air. I'm Rufus Washington, joined as always by my colleague Dave Marks on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22 as the Leuzinger Olympians prepare to host the Crescenta Valley Falcons from La Crescenta up in the Glendale area. Promises to be a very exciting game tonight, Dave. La Crescenta comes in with an overall record of 22-5, 8-2 in league play. They, of course, are out of the Pacific League. They finished number 2 in that league. Leuzinger, as you know, comes in as the Ocean League champions for the year 2000, and they've had an outstanding season, so we expect this to be one of the most competitive matchups we've seen this season.
Well, it is going to be a true test for the Leuzinger Olympian squad. Most of the squad had playoff experience last year when they made it to the wild card round, but they lost to Palmdale in the wild card round. This year they got the bye in the first round. Crescenta Valley had to open the playoffs in the wild card round, and they did it with a home victory over Santa Maria 79-70. So they are a tested team. They are a tall team. Leuzinger Olympians are a team that are going to be severely tested on their home court in the first round of the playoffs, and they will have to find their playoff legs very early and quickly.
And you're exactly right, Dave. There are a couple of changes that we need to let folks be aware of in terms of tonight's contest, as they will affect it, one of which is the fact that Jonathan Smith, who's a backup point guard, number 10, is academically ineligible. Therefore, he did not suit up for tonight's contest, and instead they've brought up from the junior varsity sophomore, number 55, Brian Wilson. Had a chance to talk with Coach Norman before tonight's contest, and one of the things he was pointing out, he was recognizing certainly the size of the Crescenta Valley team, but the question that they see for themselves is, what is the athleticism of Crescenta Valley? Obviously, they don't know a lot about them, not having had an opportunity to scout them. You go by whatever reports you can dig up. But as you see Crescenta Valley take the floor, it's obvious that they take the floor size-wise as a very, very large team.
Well, the last time we saw Leuzinger play, their most effective weapon was the transition game. It was touches of pressure defense and the ability to run the floor very well. When you're a smaller team, sometimes you have to take advantage of that. But you have to get the feeling that Chaz Foster in the middle is going to be severely tested by James Jenkins, number 45, the tall player at center. Well, we will see who has the better post game, who's able to control the boards. It is going to be, I would say, the first quarter, a very interesting chess match for both teams. To see Jim Smiley, the coach of Crescenta Valley, and Travis Showalter, the coach of Leuzinger, which one of these floor generals is able to push the right buttons and put the right pieces on the floor.
And as you look at the center jump, you can see right off the bat the size differential between Chaz Foster, number 23 at center for the Olympians, and number 45, James Jenkins, the junior at center for Crescenta Valley, known as the Falcons, and that's what we'll call them, fans, because that's a whole lot of words to get out for me.
Now
Crescenta Valley, that is. There's a shot from the outside, put up, no good. Rebound taken down by Brandon Connor.
You see Crescenta Valley is going to play the zone, as the last couple of opponents have done against Leuzinger. They want their backcourt to take outside shots, which is what they have not been good at the past few games.
On the floor for the Olympians, number 33, Cedric Poe. Number 4, Brandon Connor. Number 25, Brandon Dixon. Number 5, Tyrone Reed. And, of course, number 23 is Chaz Foster. That's the lineup that Coach Showalter has put on the floor to try to get the Olympian effort started. Their first attempt doesn't go, and they come down with the rebound. Does the other team, and now we're going to have a foul call. The other team, of course, being the Falcons, and that was number 34, the senior, Jeff Myers, who went to the hole, and he was fouled on the play.
Well, that time, Crescenta Valley, the Falcons, got out there pretty quickly, and It was a late foul. I think that's what the Leuzinger crowd kind of disagreed with, the fact that Tyrone Reed, it looked like the whistle came a little late, but nevertheless, the referee was closer than we are. And it sends Jeff Myers to the free throw line for the first free throw attempts of the night.
Of course, he was in active shooting, so he shoots 2. This is his second. Makes 1 out of 2, and that puts the Falcons on the board first at the 6:54 mark by a margin of 1-0.
Now, it's interesting, Leuzinger has gone big in the backcourt. Usually you see Brandon Dixon, Joe Shepard, and Ortega, but you notice they've got a rather big backcourt.
And that's Brandon Connor going to the hoop to score the basket. So he puts Leuzinger on top now at 2-1. We're still in the early going, fans. Our officials for tonight's contest are Bruce Horn, and the referee is Jim Elmer. That shot from the outside, no good. Rebound taken down by Dixon. He gets it off to Connor. Connor shoots from three-point range, gets it to go. So Leuzinger right now leading by 5-1 on the strength of Brandon Connor, Dave.
And if Brandon Connor can get hot from the outside early, that is going to be a plus for the Olympians.
Nice shot on the inside by number 45, Jenkins. Let's talk about the Crescenta Valley lineup for a moment. Number 12 is Jimmy Goffredo. 14 is Mark McCauley. 15, Chris Tarn. 34 is Jeff Myers. And 45 is James Jenkins. And going to the root is Brandon Connor. So Brandon Connor right now is a one-man wrecking squad as he's taken on this Falcon team all by himself. And he's outscored them 7-3. It's going to be ball out of bounds to the Falcons.
And a nice defensive play there by Brandon Connor on the defensive end. Leuzinger defensively has gone into the trap, and we'll see if that is ultimately going to be effective against this Crescenta Valley team.
That shot put up from the outside is short by Goffredo. Rebound taken down by Dixon. Gives it off to Tyrone Reed. Dixon from three-point range comes off the right side iron, no good. Handling now is McCauley. Gives it off to Myers. That shot from the outside put up and in by Chris Tarn, the sophomore.
He's their point guard. He hit the three-pointer, but he's not their best three-point shooter. Jimmy Goffredo is the best three-point man, but he's 0 for 1.
And that makes our score now 7-6. Olympians still lead. We're under 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Dixon shot from the left wing drops. Three-pointer makes it a 10-6 game now. Their coach Jim Smiley has a few words for the official. This shot from the right side, it's no good. And nice tap there. Leuzinger gets it. Brandon Connor has it. Decides to slow it down, gives it off to Tyrone Reed, who backs it out to Cedric Poe. Poe stops for a moment near half court, takes a couple of instructions from Coach Showalter. Now down on the baseline, Chaz Foster with the fall-away jumper. Doesn't go, skying to get it, and Cedric Poe with the putback. Leuzinger now leads by a score of 12-6, just under 4 minutes left. Right now, Dave, Leuzinger is holding their own fairly well against this oversized Crescenta team.
They're doing well off the boards as Cedric Poe gets 2 points and a rebound.
And Cedric Poe saves the inbounds play. Oh, missing the layup that time is Brandon Connor. Coming back the other way. Leuzinger has defenders back, and now he's going to get a blocking call. Leuzinger crowd voicing some disagreement with the call as they thought that Chaz Foster had possession. I think that call is going to go against Foster. They haven't put it up yet.
Well, if we're able to get a look at that again, and I don't know if we will, maybe you're better, Rufus, at judging the difference between a block and a charge. So if we do get it, you tell us.
That's Tarn who misses the first free throw. Here we go. There you see Foster. Ooh, that's awfully close. I got to tell you, Dave, great work by the camera crew for Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22 to get us that replay. And I got to tell you, I think if the coaches saw that, they would disagree with the call as well. Second free throw by Tarn is good. Makes it a 12-7 game now.
You see Joe Shepard in the ball game for Leuzinger as they go a little smaller in the backcourt right now.
Although Joe Shepard, a very athletic player, Connor doesn't get it quite up to the basket, but he will go to the line to shoot too.
Well, he's had a couple of penetrations to the line, a couple of penetrations to the hoop tonight, and he's gotten a bucket out of it, and here he draws the foul as Chris Turney was called for that foul, his first personal and the first on the team.
Connor's first free throw is good. If we get an opportunity and you see a part of the crowd, I wish you fans at Leuzinger could see the kind of crowd that came out to support the Falcons, to support their school. Second free throw, no good. Rebound controlled by the Falcons. All of those that you see there are Falcon fans. Hopefully when the Olympians go on the road, their fans will come out en masse the same way and support their cause. Foster goes up, gets the rebound. Now we got Connor behind the three-point line. This shot no good. Chaz Foster with the rebound, puts it back in. Leuzinger right now, Dave, is playing as well as I've seen him play the entire season.
You have to be impressed with what they're doing against a big front line for Crescenta Valley. Chaz Foster and Brandon Connor are definitely holding their own at this point.
And they're staying out of foul trouble. That's going to be the other key. Shot put up and in there by James Jenkins. The big 6'5" senior playing in the junior, playing in the post for them.
And when you give him that kind of deep position, he's going to hit it.
Dixon from three-point range, his three-pointer doesn't go. Our score right now, 15-9, 2:13 left in the first quarter. That shot doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Foster. Foster, one of the leading rebounders in the South Bay, averaging over 10 rebounds per game. Joe Shepard from outside. Rains down to three. Leuzinger right now has their largest lead of the game at +9. That is, they've doubled up, lead by a score of 18-9. They leave the open man. There's the follow, put back by Goffredo. Tarn's shot didn't go, but excellent rebound position, and they convert on it.
Well, Leuzinger in this first quarter with 1:30 to go in it has definitely had the better of the perimeter game. That last shot by Shepard reminds you of Lisa Left Eye Lopez of the group TLC when she says she thought she saw a rainbow. That was a rainbow shot.
Brandon Connor has a 13 left on the shot clock. Minute 15 on the quarter clock. We're in the first quarter, fans. Now we're down on the 7. There's a shot from distance. It doesn't go. This time, no one in rebound position for the Olympians, so McCauley rebounds, walks it up, gives it off to Goffredo. They get it inside, score the basket for Tarn. So right now our score is 18-13, under a minute left. Leuzinger's biggest lead was at 18-9, a 9-point lead. Nice pass underneath. Oh, they're gonna call travel on Brandon Dixon. So Leuzinger went with their starters for most of the first quarter. They did bring Joe Shepard on. And now they're bringing Mighty Mouse, Oscar Ortega, whom we had the pleasure to interview in last night's contest. And also the sophomore who got brought up, Brian Wilson, big number 55. And he's in there purely to muscle, number 45, and control that post position.
Reminds me a little of Jahidi White looking at him.
That shot from the baseline put up and in. So now it's an 18-15 game.
As Crescenta Valley has picked up the outside shooting somewhat.
And they've scored the last 6 points. Leuzinger led at 1 point by a score of 18-9. Shot clock has been turned off. Leuzinger will play for the last shot. Reed has it. Joe Shepard has it now. Will it go? No, it doesn't go. But that should do it. That one shouldn't count. It doesn't go anyway. So after 1 quarter on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22, Leuzinger at home leads by a score of 18-15.
And as we learned from our last broadcast I did with Rufus, when it comes to math, Rufus will do it all. So figuring who scored what, well, I have the score, but in terms of who went on what and what a run and who outscored what, that's Rufus's department. But I believe 6-0 the last minute or so for Crescenta Valley is they picked up the outside shooting. They were cold for most of the first quarter, and they're in the 2-1-2 zone, which Leuzinger did not handle. They got the ball inside to Brandon Dixon, but of course he stepped. He was in a little too deep, had a tough angle on it. But right now, I couldn't say that momentum is going either way. It is still just a matter of Leuzinger regaining the outside shot, and Crescenta Valley has picked up. You figure with the good distance shooters that they did have, that they were going to get their outside touch sooner or later.
Okay, we're back to start the second quarter now. Leuzinger inbounds first. On the floor for the Olympians, Oscar Ortega, Joe Shepard, Brandon Connor, the big guy, and I'll tell you, Wilson, number 55 he is, and 33 is Cedric Poe. I don't think you'll find Wilson to be much of an offensive threat for him, although just as I say that, he gets a shot inside.
Not a bad shot, just wouldn't go. Crescenta Valley can tie it on a three-pointer.
Wilson, a very young player, just a sophomore, gets a good defensive hand in there, knocks it away. Ortega pushes it up. Had a chance to talk to Mighty Mouse after the girls' game last night because all the boys came out. Most of the boys' team anyway came out to support the Leuzinger girls, who unfortunately were defeated last night by Rio Mesa Spartans from Oxnard by a score of 49-48. But an outstanding game, and the point I want to make is that the boys' team came out in full force to support the girls last night, and I think the girls have returned the favor by coming out to support them. Leuzinger basketball, Brandon Connor goes up, and you're going to have a foul call down here. You could have called that one with Braille standing right in front of Jim Elman, the referee. Number 14, Frank McCauley, was holding and was called for it.
Yeah, Leuzinger's gone a little cold on the offensive end, and that'll happen in games. You'll have your peaks and valleys, but they're helped out by the foul call. It's a non-shooting foul, and they'll get another 35 seconds.
And we got a kickball call. It's still going to be Leuzinger's basketball.
Right in front of Jim Smiley, the Crescenta Valley Falcon coach. Out there in that Pacific League.
So Oscar Ortega, who averages 9 points on the season. There you go, Joe Shepard from the outside. Leuzinger content to try to beat this team with its perimeter shooting, as you said, and so far it stood him in pretty decent stead. Shot on the inside, no good. Shepard goes up among the Giants and comes down with the rebound. Ortega says, hey, let's slow it down, guys. They're working around the perimeter. Oscar Ortega's shot, it doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Jenkins, their center. Their shot from the perimeter doesn't go. Chaz Foster skies to get it. Joe Shepard pushes it up court on the fast break and lays it up and in. Leuzinger right now has jumped back out to an 8-point lead at 23-8, and that forces the Falcons to take a timeout on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22.
Rufus, sometimes one shot can turn things around. Of course, the three-pointer by Joe Shepard is second in the ball game. And then, of course, the fast break off the miss, the good rebound and the breakout, and Leuzinger generally does well in the transition game. You figure they should be able to outrun the Crescenta Valley team if they get the opportunity, and they have rebounded well. It'll be interesting as you look at it is the break. It'll be interesting to see at the half what the rebounding statistics are at the 6:08 mark of the second quarter.
Ortega goes for the suicide steal, gets tossed out of position, now recovers. Three-pointer put up in the end by Tarn. Makes it a 23-18 game. We've got 5:45 left in the first half, fans.
That's his second three-pointer. He's got 11, and he's not the best three-pointer on the team.
Chaz Foster in the lane, puts it up, draws a lot of iron. It doesn't go for him. And pass telegraph. Tyrone Reed stole it. Excellent give and go. They don't get it to drop. And they're going to call it Leuzinger possession. Good ball handling there, though, by the Olympians on that play, Dave.
Yeah, you can't complain about the passing, the unselfishness, trying to get it to the right man. And just wouldn't go for him, but they at least will get another possession.
Ortega on the handle, gives it off to Poe, back to Ortega. Right now, Leuzinger fortunate that Chaz Foster not in foul trouble, and he usually isn't, but in a game like this, you've got to have him the whole 32 minutes.
He's not in foul trouble because he's usually not particularly a shot blocker. Shot blockers tend to get in foul trouble easily.
That shot put up and in by Brandon Dixon. Do we have any numbers at this stage, Dave, on the number of three-pointers Leuzinger has converted so far?
I have them with 5 3-pointers at this point.
And they lead again by 8 at 26-18. That rebound taken down by the Falcons. However, number 34, Myers, stepped on the line, so it'll be Leuzinger basketball. 4:44 left in the first half. Leuzinger leads by a score of 26-18, baby. This is about as good as it gets.
Now, La Crescenta has 10 players on the roster. They've only played 5 of them. So they apparently don't go too deep in the bench.
That shot from the outside, no good. Foster goes up to get it. However, it's controlled by the Falcons. Tarn with the dribble. Tarn goes baseline. Tarn puts it up and in.
He's got 13 right now.
He's a sophomore.
Oh, yeah. 2 3-pointers. He's done well.
Makes it a 6-point game at 26-20. Should be a foul call there. No foul call, but Foster converts from inside the lane. I'm going to tell you something, Falcons. You can't expect to win if you're giving Chaz Foster shots in the lane. Leuzinger playing good ball hawking defense in the form of Tyrone Reed. Reed out top. Good rebound there, doesn't go. On that possession, that's the first time we saw the height of the Falcons take advantage of Leuzinger as they got 3 offensive rebounds and eventually converted.
Jenkins and Myers were determined that time.
28-22 is the score.
Got the 3:30 mark for the second quarter.
Excellent move by Reed in the lane. That shot put up, doesn't go. Rebound taken down. Right now, Leuzinger back on the coast streak. 6-point game. Pull-up jumper. Doesn't go. Near slam dunk by the big man, James Jenkins. Hey, you can't fault him for it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Well, it's a way of letting them know you're out there and knowing that you're a presence, and that gives the Leuzinger Olympians something to think about. And, of course, it delights the crowd that came here from La Crescenta, Crescenta Valley, and I think because of that last move, or at least as a part of it, is one of the reasons why Travis Showalter is elected to take a 22nd timeout.
And a very wise decision. You see Showalter, who obviously prepared his team very well coming into tonight's contest.
Yeah, they've done well as far as shots are concerned. From the outside, they've done fairly well. Their guard play has been exceptional in this ball game. They've been patient. They haven't made too many turnovers. They are playing a very good ball game for the first round of the playoffs when you expect a lot of nerves.
3:10 left in the first half. Leuzinger up by 6 at 28-22. Going to get a foul called on the inside. Boy, bit of a touch foul. Looks like they're going to give it to Brandon Dixon.
It's number 1 for Dixon. Only 3 on Leuzinger, so it's been a fairly foul-free first half. 2:59 to go in it.
There you see the official, Jim Elmer, leading a couple of the players and a little bit of housekeeping, a wet spot on the floor. That was where Foster went down. They're trying to dry it out. You certainly don't want a player to slip, turn an ankle, and possibly even worse, break one. Leuzinger with the trap. Leuzinger played good defense that time. However, the Falcons found the hole and converted. 28-24 is our score now with 2:47 left. That shot from three-point range gets the drop. Brandon Dixon gets the drop. Makes it a 31-24.
Sometimes it pays to be lucky, Rufus.
That's Tarn with the handle, being guarded by Brandon Connor. gives it over to Goffredo, and it's going to be Falcon ball out of bounds.
Well, it'll be interesting to see now with Jenkins beginning to assert himself what Leuzinger elects to do defensively.
Tarn out front against the defense of Tyrone Reed. Tarn gets in the lane, puts it up. Chaz Foster, one of the top rebounders in the South Bay, comes down with it. Brandon Dixon has it on the perimeter. Wants to shoot, thinks twice about it, gives it off to Connor. Connor dips it, goes baseline, reverse layup, doesn't go. Comes down with it, and it's going to be out of bounds off of the big man Jenkins of Crescenta Valley.
At the 1:55 mark.
There you see Dixon inbounding. Inbounds it to Connor. Connor gets trapped on the baseline, and Joe Shepard travels on the play. Joe knew he wanted to go to the basket, but his feet started moving before the ball did.
Little indecision there, costing them the turnover.
Minute 51 left. Got one of our first substitutes coming on the floor, number 22. Aldridge comes on the floor now. Nice inside pass to Myers for the basket. Makes us score 31-26. Foster gets it in the lane. Foster's shot goes up, doesn't drop for him. One of his rare misses in the paint tonight. Tarn from the perimeter. You can't leave him loose. Brandon Connor does the wise thing, goes up, knocks it out of bounds. Forces the offense of the Falcons to set up yet again.
And you mentioned J.J. Allridge in the ball game. First sub coming at the 1:20 mark of the second quarter.
Whoa, they get a foul call. Looks like they're going to call that on Brandon Connor. And that's Brandon's first. So right now, as we end the first quarter, the Olympians foul-wise are in pretty good shape with 1:10 left. You'd love to keep it that way. Myers misses the first of two.
It seems, though, that the few fouls they've made has sent Crescenta Valley to the line where they've not been very prosperous there.
Hits the second. Makes it a 5-point game at 31-27. Leuzinger's biggest lead was 9 at 18-9 in the first quarter. Ortega, Dixon, and Connor working the perimeter along with Reed. So they put everybody on the perimeter and the only guy in the paint. And now we're going to have a foul call against the Falcons.
Well, Tyrone Reed just trying to make something happen there. He gets a foul, the foul committed by J.J. Allridge, the man who just checked in the ball game.
Got to get it in. And he does. That was Ortega on the inbound play. Now you got Dixon here in the middle of the floor. Gets it down to Foster. Foster goes up, forced the shot there. Doesn't get it to go. 36 seconds left in the first half. Leuzinger by 4 at 31-27. Leuzinger playing pretty good defense now. Reed's got to be careful. He's got a foul. Foster needs to give ground, and he does. Leuzinger comes away with it. They're running with 20 seconds left. Ortega goes in. Should have a goaltend there. Interfered with the net. Hold on, what's the call? Referees missed that one.
Yeah,
as the defender for the Falcons' hand went into the net, and that's goaltending at any level because it's basket interference. The call doesn't go the Olympians' way, but with 13 seconds left and a 4-point lead, they should get the last shot. Connor goes in, scores it with 7 seconds left. Give ground, Tyrone. It's not worth the foul. Let it go. And the shot's no good. And so after 16 minutes, Dave, in an exciting game, Leuzinger leads by a score of 33-27 on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Your summation of what we've seen thus far.
I think you've seen a team in Leuzinger that's smaller hold their own very well on the offensive glass, and that may be the key of the first half. and I think you've seen their backcourt, whoever they put in the backcourt has played very composed. They haven't made a lot of turnovers, and they've been fortunate to hit some big outside shots. I mean, that last shot by Brandon Dixon, where it bounces high and goes in for a three-pointer. Sometimes it pays to be lucky. For Crescenta Valley, well, they took a while to get the outside shot together, and of course it took a while for Jenkins to really assert himself, but I think they can sense that the second half, the early part of the second half, they may have a chance to do a little something, and the early second half is going to be big for them as it's pressure for everybody in the postseason.
So, at the half, once again, our score, Leuzinger 33, the Falcons of Crescenta Valley 27. Enjoy the halftime festivities, fans, and we'll join you for second half action right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. The opening basket. Now we've got a view back for you, fans. Crescenta Valley scored the first basket to open the second half. Leuzinger's largest lead in the first half was at 18-9. They closed the half leading by a score of 33-27. And here they've given, well, almost a layup, blown, however, by Grafado. Leuzinger depended upon the perimeter shot in the first half. Let's see if they resort to the same tactic here.
Well, they did well also off the rebounding boards. With Chaz Foster 5 rebounds, Brandon Connor with 3.
So another turnover here for the Olympians. Something they can ill afford. There's a shot missed on the inside. That one's no good. Follow put up and in by big number 45, James Jenkins. And that's the second time tonight that we've seen the height advantage of the Falcons assert itself and result in 2 points for them. And now we've got a 2-point ball game at 33-31, 6.5 left in the third period.
Now Leuzinger's made 2 turnovers. They made only 2 in the whole first half, and only a minute and a half into this third quarter, and they've already made 2, and are in jeopardy of being tied or losing the lead right here on the three-pointer.
Ball in the hands of Tarn there for a moment. Tarn, of course, was the leading scorer in the first half. They're going to get a foul call on Chaz Foster, say put a knee in the back of Jenkins. But Tarn was their high scorer with 13. Myers and Jenkins supported him with 6 points apiece. For the Olympians, their scoring was pretty evenly distributed. 10 for Connor, 9 for Dixon, and 8 for Joe Shepard. Tarn from three-point range doesn't go. The tip drill, one that we see in football. Leuzinger's lose a couple times a night. Connor goes to the free throw line. It doesn't drop, comes down with it. A lot of contact in there, no call. Back on defense is Tyrone Reed. Still 33-31, 5:45 left in the third, Dave.
You got to wonder about Leuzinger's legs. Either that, or as you pointed out, maybe there are things underneath that aren't being called due to the fact that in the first half, you did see them get a couple of good low post moves, interior shots like that just would not fall. They had about 4 attempts that last trip in pretty much in deep, and nothing could drop. You saw a couple of times in the first half where it looked like they just didn't get up high enough. I don't know if it's a lack of legs or they're intimidated by the big people in the middle.
2 team fouls here in the second half for Leuzinger, none for Crescenta Valley. And now we're going to have another foul call. So whereas the Olympians avoided foul trouble in the first half, no one had as many as 2 fouls. Now you've got 3 team fouls that have called, and they're showing that that's personal number 3 on Chaz Foster here with 5:32 left in the third. And boy, that could present a huge problem for the Olympians.
And whereas Crescenta Valley has said, we're not kidding or playing around, we're going right into our bread and butter. We're going down low, we're going into the low post, and that's what they're doing. On one of the last offensive possessions, you have to really credit the kick out that James Jenkins did. He was in deep, a little too deep for the shot, and he kicked it out for a 3-point attempt that was missed, but you got to credit the pass.
And so with the free throws, we're tied at 33. Gonna have a foul called on the inside. That foul is gonna go against number 34, I believe. And that's the indication from our referee, Jim Elmer. 34, of course, is Jeff Myers. And they show that that's his first foul. One of the things that the Olympians, I would think, are going to need to do here is to return the favor by going to the inside game. That free throw put up and in by Cedric Poe in order to draw some fouls on the big guys of Crescenta Valley.
That would be a good strategy, and of course you're going to need the right kind of ball distribution and entry passes to allow that to be done.
I mean, you cannot let those guys stay on the court the whole game without consequence. That shot put up from three-point range, and it goes. Scored a basket for Mark McCauley. Leuzinger, for the first time in a long time, trails. It's a short trail, though. Scored a three-pointer for Brandon Connor. Gives them back the lead at 38-36, 4:45 left in the third quarter, fans. Right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. They get it inside to the big man, James Jenkins. That ties the score at 38 now. I think that what they want to try to do, and you're going to have a travel call on Cedric Poe. I believe what they want to try to do is get to the fourth quarter, certainly in no worse position than they are right now, being tied with Chaz Foster on the bench. I don't think they want to bring Foster back in this period, but if that lead grows too big, they may not have any choice. But right now, that remains to be seen, Dave.
Well, they're in a man-to-man defense, and it has not worked in denying getting the ball inside or stopping that. At the 4-minute mark, they've got a 2-point lead.
And you're going to have a foul called on the dribble, I think the official is going to say. So it'll be Leuzinger ball out of bounds. And once again, I want the fans, before this contest is over, to take a shot at the Crescenta Valley crowd that's here tonight to support their team and ask yourself, do you come out in the same manner to support your team? And you got to believe that that makes a lot of difference to these guys who are in a hostile arena where you've got nearly as many fans as the home team has, if not more, quite frankly.
Well, that says a lot about dedication, because they had to come a long way to get here. And it's not a very big building that they're sitting in, or a comfortable one.
That three-pointer doesn't go. Leuzinger comes away with the steal. Connor has it. Connor's fouled on the play. Again, he's fouled on the dribble. So at least they're drawing some fouls, which is a good thing. They call that foul at number 14, Mark McCauley. He'd rather they draw them on the big guys, but as we've seen, the Falcons aren't a very deep team, so any of these starters that you can get in some trouble is a benefit. And they draw yet another foul. Let's see who this one is on. They call it on the big guy, number 45. That's only his first of the game, but it is going to send Tyrone Reed to the line to shoot two.
That's the right idea. Got to hit some of those free throws, and again, even though he missed the bucket, one of those situations where a lot of the little things they've done above the rim tonight have just not fallen. Started in the second quarter, and you just got to wonder, will that turn around?
Whoa, that one rims out on him, drew a lot of iron. So the Olympians down by 2, 3.5 left here in the third. Needing to play good defense. Got to guard the post. And there you have a turnover. Well, Jenkins looking for the cutter. The cutter had already left. So the ball sails out of bounds. Olympian basketball. Another chance for them to tie. Go ahead. Or take a shot from 3. It doesn't go. No rebounders there. Right now, Leuzinger not getting anything on the offensive board.
Shot it perhaps a little too quickly.
That rebound taken down by Jenkins over 2 Leuzinger players who quite frankly had position on him and he draws the foul on the play. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, the comment you made about a minute or so ago about how long to go without Shaz Foster, right now, Leuzinger is just buying time. Because that's not a rebound, quite frankly, that Jenkins should have come away with. I want to be critical, but big fella Brian Wilson has to leave his feet a little bit.
And Leuzinger brings a little more height in. They bring Joe Shepard in for Ortega. So the big guy, Jenkins, hits 1 out of 2. It's a 3-point game. Leuzinger needing somebody to play inside. Wilson needs to go to the basket. Score the 3 for Brandon Connor.
Well, he's bailed them out twice with 3-pointers in the third quarter with 2:25 to go in it. Now they're going to want to, well, they do get it in, but he's double teamed, which is good.
And score the basket. That's what you've got to answer. They absolutely have got to push the 2 big guys away from the basket. 3-pointer put up by Dixon. It doesn't go. Once again, they bring it down. They look inside. And I would make anybody coming through the inside pay and pay dearly for the trip.
Well, that one's on Wilson. As you take a look at that last big 3-pointer. It's number 1 on Wilson, and they go to the free throw line. Tarney gets 2 shots.
Tarney hits the first.
They're going to go to Cedric Poe right now because I believe Brandon Dixon has 3 personals.
So he makes a pair, makes it a 45-41 game. Leuzinger down by 4. Needing a bucket here in this type of contest. Oh, you're going to get the foul. You're going to get a travel call against Reed.
Well, I was going to say jump shots alone will not get them there, but neither will turnovers, and they've made more turnovers in this third quarter than they did the whole first half.
So you've got 1:30 left in the third. Leuzinger down by 4. Needing to play. Good, solid defense here. Having to protect the inside. That shot no good. Rebound taken down by Poe. Leuzinger looks to run, gives it off to Brandon Connor. Connor shot from 3-point range. It's short. They come away with it. Shot blocked by the big guy. Doesn't go. Leuzinger can't come down with the rebound. Now they do. Now you got a foul call. It looks like it's going to go against the Olympians. Not a very popular call made right there. And quite frankly, I didn't see it.
I didn't catch that one either. Looked like the call was going to go the other way. But they get that one. Of course, it's called on Brandon Connor. It's number 2 for him.
Score the 3-pointer. Now it's a 7-point game. Leuzinger in a bit of a hole.
And that's 20 points now for Chris Tarney.
They need a basket, and they need one badly. That one doesn't go. We got to get a foul here somewhere, and finally we do. Referee seeming to swallow the whistle on the Leuzinger end of the court.
Well, they're going to give that one to James Jenkins on the battle for the rebound.
That's a 15 foul. That's Crescenta. Joe Shepard from 3-point range. His shot doesn't go. Okay, thank you. And now we get another foul call against him. That call looks like it's going to go on Tarney. That's his third foul.
Things getting a little edgy right now, as Charney did commit the third, and James Jenkins, who has been one of the key factors in this quarter, checks out of the ball game. 26 seconds to go in it.
Shot clock is off. Well, they show it running, although the shot clock exceeds the game clock, so it should be off. There's Connor's shot. It's put up. It's no good. Joe Shepard comes down with it. He was fouled, doesn't get a call. And now he has a chance with 3 seconds. Doesn't get it to go. So, after 3, Leuzinger trails by a score of 48-41 as they were outscored 21-8 in that period.
And Rufus, the ability to add quickly, of course, the math not very well in that third quarter for the Leuzinger Olympians. They've got 8 minutes possibly remaining in their season, and they are not going to do it by the jump shot, plain and simply. If they are to pull out something in this fourth quarter with them trailing 48-41, they're going to have to find a way to get to the basket on the drive and to get to the free throw line. Now, does Shaz Foster become the X factor? He, of course, is in foul trouble with 3 fouls, but right now the season is on the line for him. As you look at Crescenta Valley, they didn't play around. They went right to work. They went right into the middle, and that basically was what got them off early in the third quarter, and they got the momentum early and never trailed. So it's 8 minutes to decide if someone wants to play next Tuesday.
And now you've got just about the biggest team that Leuzinger can put on the floor. Of course, the key thing is Chaz Foster's back. That 3 doesn't go. You got to work it inside, guys. I know the 3 has served you fairly well, but right now you're trailing by 7. You want to force the big man to play defense. That's the only thing about the perimeter game is that you don't force them to play defense.
That's true, and you make it easy for the long rebound. And as you see, the entry pass goes into Jenkins. He had 8 at the half. He's now got 17.
And now it's a 9-point game. Again, 3-pointer put up by the Olympians. 50-44 now. Brandon Dixon.
Well, he's got 12 points, but not going to be able to do it on just the outside shot alone.
They swing it across court. That shot's going to be short. And it's going to be out of bounds to the Olympians.
Now see, that a smart 3-point attempt because it came on the weak side. They just threw it cross court to the open man.
Leuzinger right now staring at a 6-point deficit. Connor goes inside, draws the foul. Let's see who it's going to be on.
Well, the point you made, Rufus, right there. You do some sort of penetration. As Charney picked up that foul, that's his 4th. And Brandon Connor earns a trip to the free throw line, so you get a chance to stop the clock with 6:48 and take something for free if you can hit. If I say.
Misses the free throw. And this is going to become a game of little things now, Dave. Boxing out. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, free throws, turnovers. He misses a pair. Foster, again, showing his presence inside, goes up to get it. And it's going to be Leuzinger basketball. And immediately you see what a difference Chaz Foster means on the floor.
Well, it's going to get to the point where adrenaline is going to be the most important factor. And sometimes that can help a home team.
Leuzinger still working the perimeter. Joe Shepard comes across the lane. Connor goes baseline with the reverse, puts it up and in.
And that time he did not miss the in-close opportunity as they look for a little full-court pressure here to see if it'll work. Now they've got to break into the half-court man-to-man.
So Leuzinger's outscored him 5-2. Now you get a steal and a late whistle. They call the foul on Tyrone Reed. And that'll be the 1-and-1 now.
Well, you saw no way Connor was going to miss that last shot. But back to live action. They go over the limit. Good steal attempt. And the pressure on McCauley. Foul situation. Both teams, I believe, are going to be in the bonus. Leuzinger will be in the bonus on the next foul.
Second one is missed. Reed comes down with the rebound. 5-point game, 51-46. Crescenta Valley leads. Blocking foul call. That one's going to go against McCauley, and that's going to be either his third or fourth.
Well, you could see McCauley didn't like that one, as it is number 3.
Well, again, that's what puts pressure on it. I don't think the Olympians, quite frankly, have any other choice at this stage except to force the ball to the basket and draw fouls.
And as we mentioned, they are now in the bonus situation.
Leuzinger comes up with the loose ball. Connor puts it up and in. So we've got ourselves a 3-point ball game right now at 51-48. Leuzinger's come back from a 7-point deficit at the end of 3. That one nearly goes. Looks to me that was a travel. Foster goes up on the board, comes down with it. Leuzinger with a chance to tie. From three-pointer, Brandon Dixon doesn't go. Went for the home run that time, Dave, couldn't get it.
Yeah, you gotta be patient. Pays to be.
Still a lot of time. That one's gonna be short. Leuzinger comes down with it. Tyrone Reed it is. Connor has it. Connor now stops. Here's his short.
You could see that was gonna be short. Now that's 2 opportunities they had. With full 35 seconds, make something happen.
And 2 opportunities, if you score 2 two-point baskets, you lead by 1. That one's short. Come on. There you go. Tyrone Reed is a terror right now defensively. Scored a basket for the Olympians. And Leuzinger has fought its way back into this game, Dave, with 4:39 left. Trailing by 1. Chance Foster going to the line with an opportunity to tie.
Well, credit Joe Shepard there for the pass. Joe Shepard had the right idea all along. You see the trail end of it. He got Chaz Foster the ball with the opportunity to do what he did. So if he is able to tie this ball game on the free throw line on the 3-point play, you have to credit Joe Shepard. I mentioned a while ago about momentum. Well, not so much momentum, adrenaline being a factor. Adrenaline is that inner rush that you get in, I guess, a life or death situation. And for both of these teams tonight, the season is on the line. For all of the seniors on these teams, the season is on the line. And that basketball, as we've seen, is going to get very slippery. The bounces are going to be precarious. And it's going to be a matter of poise on the court that's going to make it this last 4 minutes, 39 seconds. Now, if you're wondering what happens tonight, the winner will play the winner of Highland at Ayala on Tuesday, the 22nd. If Leuzinger and Ayala win, there'll be a coin toss for the home court. If Leuzinger and Highland both win, the game will be at Highland because Highland has not had a chance to play on their home court. But Leuzinger has to win before you can start talking about Tuesday.
Well, we got 4:39 left in the contest. Foster at the line looking to tie. He's a little short. Leuzinger doesn't come down with the rebound. They got to get back now and play some defense. This is fourth quarter action, fans, on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Hope you're enjoying it. That shot from the perimeter, no good. Chaz Foster comes down with it. Joe Shepard looking to run. He's fouled on the play. Bam! A missed call there.
Well, they call a charge, and
well, they missed the other foul. That's what's starting to upset the crowd here, is that you got to call both. And if you can see Coach Showalter, you see it there. Clearly a missed call by the officials there. It hurts the Leuzinger attempt. Joe Shepard fouled on the drive. Instead, the official sees what he considered to be a charge.
And that's simply a case of breaking the press right there as Chris Tarney has 22 points, and it's back to a 3-point Crescenta Valley lead at the 4-minute mark of the ball game.
Tyrone Reed cuts to the lane, puts it up and in. Tyrone Reed finds a hole in the defense, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Leuzinger has to exploit the interior of the Crescenta Valley defense to see if it's real or not. That's a travel, but instead, not surprisingly, we're going to get a foul call against the Olympians.
I think all in all, from the referee's perspective, a good call there. It did look like a block. But that last bucket by Reed, you've got to really credit him for the fact that he did go to the hole, and it's one of those dipsy-doos, and maybe things are going to start dropping. But more importantly, that last foul was on Chaz Foster. That's his fourth. We mentioned when Chaz Foster picks up fouls, it's not so much on the block attempts because he is not really a shot blocker per se. A lot of it is on rebounding and on blocking fouls, impeding the path of the offensive player, which he did right there. And here's Tarney with 24 points, and it's back to a 3-point lead for Crescenta Valley. 3:25 to go in the game.
55-52, Leuzinger with a chance once again to tie. There's Dixon's shot, it's short.
And Rufus, those legs are tired for both teams right now. They do not need that quick 3-point attempt.
Gonna be Leuzinger ball. Leuzinger again needing to go inside, however, they know their strengths better than I do. They're deciding to live with the 3-pointer, and it's like anything else in life. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
This is true, as Crescenta Valley, of course, could have lived without that last long turnover from the backcourt. But, you know, it's a matter of, at this point, you know the legs of both teams are going to get tired, and possessions are dwindling down to a precious few. You cannot afford, you've got the ball, an opportunity to cut into the lead. You can't just come down and chuck something up in 5 seconds. Take your time. As you have said all night, I know you do coach basketball, so I've never had the pleasure or the privilege of coaching it, and from a coach's perspective, you can do no worse than get a trip to the free throw line.
Exactly. Well, we'll see what the strategy is in these last 3 minutes and some change. We'll have to wait to see the clock come back. Right now, Leuzinger trails by 3 at 55-52.
And again, the winner here tonight will play Tuesday against the winner of Highland at Ayala. If Leuzinger and Ayala win, there'll be a coin toss to determine where the game will be played. If Leuzinger and Highland win, the game will be played at Highland, way out in Palmdale. Get ready for a long drive, Rufus, if that happens.
Whoa.
A lot's got to happen here, though, at 3:07.
Joe Shepard on the perimeter, Connor on the perimeter, looks inside, comes back out, goes back up for the short jumper, gets it to drop. Makes it a 1-point game now at 55-54, 2:45 left.
22 points, and that, again, a smart move.
And you got to play some defense.
Chaz Foster, of course, with 4. Let's see if they try to go right at him.
Well, Foster getting some help on the inside, as you might expect. Tyrone Reed comes down with the rebound. There, Reed was pushed, no foul call. I mean, these guys only got tunnel vision, if you ask me, and I hate to dog the referees. Come on, Joe, bad to give it away. There you go. Get it back on defense. Save the foul. 2 minutes left. 3-point game.
And again, no need for a quick 3-pointer. They can take some time.
And Reed needing to come off the court. Tyrone Reed has a cramp right now.
He's on the left side. You can see him bending down.
Timeout. And they get it with 18 left on the shot clock. Tyrone Reed is cramped up. So, with 2 minutes and some change left, right now our score, La Crescenta 57, Leuzinger 54.
Well, in that last possession for Leuzinger, the right idea, but some hands coming in and knocking the ball away, leading to the steal. And this next 11 seconds on the shot clock with a 3-point deficit, Leuzinger needs a bucket or a trip to the line right here. Each possession right now is important. because a missed opportunity and another 2 points for La Crescenta, and you're looking at a 5-point game at about the 1:30 mark. So the winner here trying to advance till Tuesday night in this big CIF Southern section in the big division here. Leuzinger winners of the Ocean League, as you well know. Last couple of ball games Leuzinger has played have been just like this. 1-point victory over Torrance coming at the 4-second mark. Overtime victory over El Segundo, the last ball game we did about a week ago. But right here, this is where it all counts. At the 1:53 mark, they have 15 seconds. They put 4 seconds back on the shot clock. 1:53 to go in the game.
On the handle is Poe. And another turnover for Joe Shepard. That's 2 turnovers here in the late going.
Well, the backcourt has not come up big in the second half for Leuzinger. They did in the first half, not the second. And 2 points here could be almost deadly at the 1:30 mark.
They get it inside. Leuzinger comes down with it. 1:17. Leuzinger still opportunity to go for 2. Don't need the 3. 27 on the shot clock, minute 10 on the game clock. Joe Shepard from 3-point range. Joe Shepard's made 3 consecutive poor decisions here.
And they are running out of time.
Well, still, there's the good defense. Here's the layup. There you go. All you got to do, 1-point game. You're back down to good defense now. If they will get another possession,
that's what
you need. You got to press them.
That's basically what you call refusing to die, refusing to lose. Maybe the play of the season for Brandon Connor coming up, taking the dribble right there. If they go in and get another 2 points, you're looking at a 5-point ball game. Now you're looking at a 1-point game where still, no matter what they do, Leuzinger does have another possession or 2 to play with.
We're under a minute left, fans, on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Here you're going to see the steal again by Brandon Connor as he takes it away from the sophomore Tarney, picks it up in the open court, and it's an easy layup for him. Macaulay coming there, or that's Godfrey rather, makes the wise decision not to foul him. So you got 37.8 seconds left on the game clock. 26 on the shot clock. That makes an 11-second differential, fans. Leuzinger can play good defense, which they need to do. No need to foul. They only need to stop them and get the rebound.
I got to believe they're going to Jenkins if they can.
That shot is short. They don't come up with it. Now they got a foul. They got the foul. The Falcons call another timeout. Leuzinger there having Ortega on the floor, not having the best rebounding possibilities out there.
Well, there's going to be, I believe, about 18 seconds when they put it back up on the clock. Check that 22 and 6/10 seconds will be remaining in the ball game. The shot clock is off, so that means conceivably Rufus, Crescenta Valley has the last possession, but you know Leuzinger is going to try to go for something quick. If they don't get it, they're going to foul.
That's all you can do. You know, and the question here, and this happens at every level, I'm sure the coach goes into the huddle, tells the guys, look, make 1 play for the steal. As soon as you miss it, foul. Now, the question will be, how much time will Leuzinger allow to run off the clock before they foul? You got to foul right away. It's as simple as that. It's a 1-point game. So they make 2, all right? You still got a shot. It's 22.6 seconds left to score 57-56. That's my analysis. How about yours, Dave?
Well, also I'm concerned with no matter what Crescenta Valley does, what does Leuzinger do when they get the basketball? They have not been poised in this 4th quarter for the most part, and they are going to be facing the possession of the year when they get the ball on offense.
And here's the foul. You got to give it now. There is no shot clock. You got to give the foul. I do not understand this decision-making by the Leuzinger Olympians at this point.
Well, they let about 10, 11 seconds off the clock, 15 and 2/10 seconds. and you put a good free throw shooter in Tarney on the line. Tarney's been there. We've got him 6 times tonight. He has made 5 out of 6.
And you end up at the same point you would have ended up 6 seconds ago, though. Tarney makes the first. Now you got 15.2 left. You're down by a deuce. Got to control this rebound here if he misses. Got to control if he misses. Leuzinger comes down with it. They're down by a deuce. They're running it all the way. Connor goes to the lane. He's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Brandon Connor goes to the line to shoot 2. And now you got number 12 begging for the foul. Let's see how they call it. Let's see if they give, and they give it to number 12, an act of generosity as he saves his player, number 15.
Well, Brandon Connor has come up big all night, and he is being asked to come up. Oh, you can't talk about how big these 2 shots are right here.
Makes the first. Now we got 1 more.
And there's still going to be 7 3/10 seconds to go, whether he makes it or not. But this is the big one.
Well, if he doesn't make it, this is where you got to foul quickly, though. Same thing. You got to foul immediately. Misses it, but Leuzinger gets it.
This is an interesting call. Well, I don't know if fans, I don't know if you picked up the public address system.
Their ruling is the clock didn't start. It's what Jason Miller, our friend and colleague, the House announcer, says. Leuzinger is going to have possession.
And they're going to trail by 1, Rufus, with about 6 seconds to go. And as you've said all night, first there'll be a timeout taken. But basically here, they have a lot of options, and they have to be smart. They do have plenty of time at 6 seconds. You can get something to the hole, hope to be fouled. I guess the last thing you'd want to say is somebody come in and chuck one up right away.
Exactly, and I think what you got to do, again, if you ask me, and who am I? I'm only a play-by-play announcer. I'm not a coach, except not at this level anyway. But I think you got to go to the hole. You got to force them to foul you. They're either going to give you the basket or they're going to foul you. And you send your best free throw shooter to the hole. Whether that's Connor or somebody else, we don't know because we don't have free throw stats. But that's what I do. You don't go for the low percentage perimeter shot, if you ask me.
I would say you're right, Rufus. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's a matter of who's going to inbound the ball. You've got to worry about the 5-second violation. Then whose hands do you want it in once it comes inbounds? They do have the time, 6 seconds exactly. Plenty of time to get 1 shot off. Well, I don't know, they're running the clock down to 3.8 apparently. So now, this makes it.
Well, now they make it 3-1. Hold on. I think we got to get this straightened out. The clock has been a couple of 3 or 4 different things.
If it's 3.1, they've got to do something very quickly.
And now that's what Coach Showalter is questioning.
Leuzinger fans want, now they're putting it to 5 seconds. So I don't know what's going on. It's almost like we're at Hawthorne with that clock. They're going to give him 5 seconds, which gives them more breathing room, and they won't guard the inbound passer.
You got to get it in.
They called the timeout. The bench of Crescenta Valley looking for a travel, saying that he can't move on the out-of-bounds line. But
and you can't move on a dead ball. You can move on a made basket under the baseline, but that's a dead ball. Actually, a very good call there by the official. Would have hated to see Leuzinger lose possession if the official had picked it up. So Leuzinger catches a fortuitous break, if you will.
Everybody in this building, in this Leuzinger gymnasium, on their feet, as we are right now. We have to be in order to see these last 5 seconds. Now, Shaz Foster and James Jenkins are at it down low. Do they try to work something in there?
Well, I think what they're going to do is drop a guy in the backcourt if need be. You got Poe with the inbounds play. Coming off the curl, gives it to Reed. Now you got a look shot. Brandon Connor goes to the basket. Put it up. Oh! Brandon Connor blows the layup, and Crescenta Valley is going to get out of here with the win. As their fans storm the floor, I would think the wiser decision would be for them to head to their bench.
Well, what can you possibly say?
Not being very graceful with their victory. And there you see the floor and you see the crowd shot. Law enforcement out in full effect.
Kind of at a loss for words. It will be interesting to see the last shot. Certainly Brandon Connor came up big most of the night on the drives to the bucket. There he had a shot, a little impossible shot. He did get it off, and of course no foul called on the situation.
And what we see, Dave, is for the second night, Leuzinger experiences the disappointment of a first-round loss, again by 1 point. The girls' team having lost last night by a score of 48-47. The boys tonight lose by a score of 58-57. But as you were saying, there in those last 5 seconds, they certainly got the play they wanted. They went inside as we would have expected. Connor put the shot up. Referee didn't think sufficient contact to call a foul. Losing the season ends, unfortunately, in the first round with a loss.
The last couple of games have all been very tough, and they just came up a little short tonight. The ball handling in the second half was not good. There were one too many turnovers. There were one too many bad decisions, I feel, in deciding to go for one too many outside shots. But all in all, still they had the ball game in a situation where they could have pulled it out. They didn't turn the ball over on the last play. They got it into the hands of a person who could do something. He got to the basket. Just came a little short. Sometimes when luck isn't on your side, that happens. But a fine season for the Leuzinger Olympians comes to an end in thrilling but disappointing fashion here tonight.
And as we did last night, Dave, with the girls' team, and let's focus for a moment on the good things this year. First of all, the program, which could have been, as a lot of programs, in turmoil when you change coaches, the very popular coach Charles Wright, who didn't return this year, instead replaced by a newcomer whom none of the players knew, and Travis Showalter. But Coach Showalter came in, took the nucleus of Charles Wright's team, and led them to a very successful season where they ended up being the champions of the Ocean League and built a solid foundation, you got to think, for next season for Leuzinger basketball.
And for folks who have been to games here at this gym, if you've ever seen the JV for Leuzinger play, well, that's something pretty promising for next year, as the JV and some of those players will start to move up. But you're right, I think a good foundation planted. The team getting to the postseason last year after having to forfeit a number of games, and this year winning the Ocean League, winning it outright in thrilling fashion. So they have a lot that they can hold their heads up high on. Playoff losses are tough, but what can you say? They had it in the right hands at the right time. Just didn't bounce. One too many turnovers in that fourth quarter. Too many, I think, bad decisions to go for outside shots. There are going to be some situations where I guess they wish they would have had some of those possessions back, but that's the way it goes. You live another day.
So once again, I think one last message I'd like to give out before we start to roll the credits and let the fans know, the fine crew here at Lawndale's Cable Channel 22 who make these broadcasts possible. One of the things that we saw was the crowd tonight for La Crescenta, and I got to tell you that that crowd played an important part for them being on the road in a hostile arena. I want to send this message out to the Leuzinger Olympian fans and those fans of Hawthorne as well. What you saw tonight was fan support of their team. Next year, you should consider it your obligation and your requirement when your guys go out on the court and put out the kind of effort that gets them into the postseason, that no matter where they play, whether it's at home or on the road, it's your responsibility as parents, friends, students, and supporters and administrators to go out and support your athletes and give them that little extra edge that playing in front of your fans brings to you. Having said that, that wraps up our show, and if we've got the graphics of the staff here, we'll run through all the fine people.
I think one more point before we get to that. I want you fans of the Channel 22 Sports to know that sports is not over on Channel 22. It's time to take me out to the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what you know about that, Rufus? We got
not a whole lot.
Baseball coming up here on Channel 22. You're going to be able to see Hawthorne and Leuzinger baseball. We've got some track and field coming up. We've got 2 track and field meets we're going to cover, and we've got some volleyball. So if you like sports, you like spring sports, we got, lest I forget, Hawthorne girls softball. So we got quite a lot, the underhand softball variety, the overhand baseball for Leuzinger and Hawthorne, track and field, and we got volleyball all here. Who says Channel 22 is not a sports station? Certainly I didn't.
So once again, our final here at Leuzinger High School in the first round of the 1999-2000 CIF Division I AA playoffs. Leuzinger at home goes down to defeat by a score of 58-57. But I do once again want to run through all the fine guys here and women at Channel 22 Sports who make these broadcasts possible for your enjoyment. Let's start with our executive producer and director, Tom Strickfadden. On camera, Jose Bravo, Jason Cheney, Eric Chavez, Ali Santana, Joe Shoa, Randolph Suchet. And on graphics and replay, Sherry Ann Greer and Mario Terrazas. And of course, for Dave Marks, I'm Rufus Washington saying it's been a pleasure for me to be with you. Dave will take you the rest of the way on Channel 22 Sports with the ones that he announced. And the next time we get together again with me here at the mic, it'll be in football season. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. But I want you to stay right here and enjoy Dave's fine commentary as he takes you through the spring sports on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. So for all of us, we thank you for viewing and enjoying the telecast, and we'll say good night for now.